Who Dat?
Who Dat?
And we are here in
You
the
sure?
middle of uh, just the absolute worst part of the off season. The part where there's literally, I mean, we gotta like we literally have to like divinate over the smoke signals to try to figure out like what the hell to fucking talk about right now. Like it's this period. I mean, at least you've got the draft now. It's gonna get really bad in like June.
I mean, you got training camp in June, so we can overreact to that and call everybody the next Ladainian Tomlinson like everybody else.
Yeah, or people are already overreacting. Like we're talking about draft stuff today, but like I gotta talk about this situation with like apparently Katie Blackburn got in front of the media and was asked like all these articles giving us these clickbaity headlines. They didn't even like give us any real context for what she said. But basically, what like she said the quote, "In 2 years we can go wherever." Or I mean I don't remember the exact quote, but that's basically what she said. But like none of these articles gave any context about what the question was, what she was saying around that.
Was it about the Bengals?
Well, yeah, because the Bengals lease for Paul Brown Stadium's up in 2026.
Oh.
And
So we,
allegedly there was some like maybe she was saying something about how Hamilton County, which is the county that Cincinnati's in, she was saying something about like I guess she was saying Hamilton County hasn't had enough of a sense of urgency about it. But like people are reading into this saying that like the Bengals are threatening to leave Cincinnati, and I think you guys are like do you even do you have brains to use? Like do you just see headlines and immediately react to them without thinking? Like is thinking that fucking hard that you just
yeah.
you don't need to critically analyze any headline that ever comes across your way if it slightly agrees with your worldview? Like I'm so fucking sick of first of all these journalists who do this shit because they know it gets people to look at their fucking shit and it stirs up controversy and it, gets people to have more views and stuff like that, and then the public that fucking condones it. I'm getting tired. Like can we like use our brains for once, people? Oh my god, that's my rant about the
Yeah.
Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if it makes you feel better, the Saints were talking. Well, everybody was overreacting in back in 2005, and the Saints were going to leave New Orleans forever. And you saw, here 20 years later.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were talking about this before the show, but I mean, the Bengals. There was some discussion that the Bengals might leave Cincinnati back in the '90s, and that didn't happen. So, like, I mean, some people say like Jeff Blake having that somewhat magical '95 season saved the Bengals from leaving Cincinnati, but like, I don't think the Bengals are going to leave Cincinnati then, and I don't think they're going to leave Cincinnati now. Like first of all, who the fuck would put up with the Bengals? Honestly, like we've got like Stockholm syndrome at this point in Cincinnati. Like you're not gonna find a city who's gonna be willing to put up with that much BS.
Same here.
So
New Orleans is the only. New Orleans is the only city that can handle the Saints right now.
yeah, so
You know
um,
how much heartbreak we had to go through, and look, I understand you went through more heartbreak. I'm not debating that, but you know how much heartbreak year after year from 2017 to 2020. Those 4 years took like 10 years off my life, bro.
at least you had something to root for in those years. Those are some lean years for the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, still like the Minneapolis Miracle, the Nola No Call, the other Minneapolis Miracle, and the Tampa Bay game, and four straight games where the Saints crapped the bed, and they have not cleaned the bed since.
Wonderful. All right. Well, um, yeah. So any Saints related news you want to talk about?
I mean, the only thing that I saw earlier is that Kellen Moore was talking about, and he said that he really likes the Saints roster. But hold on, let me pull up Saints real quick. Hold on, Let me see if there's anything else. Like that he really enjoyed, coming here to St. Roster. Now I don't know how much of that is him just trying to win over the fan base, because we got to take that into account. Obviously, he's not gonna come to the Saints if he feels like the roster's garbage, but we also got to take into account that he's the head coach of the Saints, so he's not just gonna outright say that he hates his roster or that the roster's not good right now. So, we gotta take that into account. But if he's truly from the bottom of his heart likes his roster, then all right, we can work with some. Okay. Are we gonna win Super Bowl? Probably not. But we can work with some. But if we win 8 games this season, I would consider that a win. I don't care where we finish in the standings. If we can somehow win 7 to 8 games with this team, I would consider that a W. I don't care, man. Like this team, and the schedule, obviously, the schedule hasn't released yet, but the opponents that we have to face, the home games, I will say, are probably some of the easiest home games I've ever seen. The road games, though, we have to go to Buffalo. We have to go to dark places. Yeah, that's the thing. So,
all right. Well, so the thumbnail and basically just kind of like what we're really mainly doing this week is we're gonna go ahead and do a mock draft. You know why? Because I don't really have anything else to fucking talk about. So we're gonna do a mock draft so we actually have some content to give you guys. But I mean, why the hell not? So we're gonna be following along with PFF's mock draft machine. But obviously, we're gonna take turns. I'll take the Titans first, and then you can take the Browns next, and then we'll just kind of trade off from there. But if I don't think anybody's in the chat right now, but in the future, if anybody shows up and you want to give your thought process on who you think should be picked when we're in the middle of it, go ahead and let us know. So.
Wait, hold on. Do you remember that one draft when I was just trolling?
Which one?
You heard it?
No.
It was the 2023 draft when it got to the point whenever I said someone was getting picked, you would just say no, they're not. And I'm not gonna lie, back then I was just trolling. I was just saying random players. I didn't care.
That sounds. I don't specifically remember that, but that sounds like you, so I believe you.
Yeah, but this year, I only troll whenever I'm bored, and that draft just made me bored because the Saints didn't have a pick to one of the last picks.
So that was a boring draft. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You might as well have not had a high pick in that draft because there wasn't a whole lot in that one.
I mean, we had a good pick. Like, we drafted Brian Brzee. I wasn't mad at the pick, but like the Saints didn't have a pick till pick 29, so I was like, you know what? I might as well just make myself laugh. So.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So, with the first overall pick, and to answer the question that everybody has been on everybody's mind, mostly because I put it in the thumbnail, the Tennessee Titans are going to select Cam Ward. You know why? Because I can't find any evidence that they are considering literally anything else. By the way, let me go ahead and get this mock draft up so that y'all can follow along with what we're doing. But trust me, y'all. I looked high and low trying to find some sort of evidence that the Titans might go with somebody other than Cam Ward. It was nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. So they're taking Cam Ward.
Cam Ward's yeah.
Right, who the Browns taking, Mikey?
So the second pick, I was actually debating this because it was like, do they take Abdul Carter or do they take Mason Graham? And before you're asking, what about Shedeur Sanders? They're not taking the quarterback. You know why? Because they're so stubborn. They're not gonna do the smart thing. So with the second pick, I was leaning towards Abdul Carter for a while, but then my mind focused on Mason Graham because for some reason I have the Browns taking Mason Graham over Abdul Carter, and here's why. Abdul Carter, not only is his health like he had like a reaction in his foot or like a stress reaction in his foot or something, But I have the Browns picking up, what's his name, Mason Graham, because that the fact, like, whenever I watch the Michigan game or even film of Mason Graham, he would dominate. Okay, and
Okay.
some guys he dominated the best offensive tackles. And Abdul Carter, I think, is a special talent. And obviously you're taking the Giants, but if I was to do the Giants at 3, I would probably have Abdul Carter go to the Giants. I think Abdul Carter is a great talent. But I think Mason Graham, there's just something about him where it's like if he gets into the right situation, I feel like he could get double digit. I feel like he could literally be in the defensive rookie of the year conversations. Like I really truly like Mason Graham, and I have him being the second overall pick right behind Cam Ward.
I got you. I think last time I was on the phone with Thomas, he seemed to be convinced that they were going to get Cam Ward.
No, that's not happening unless a trade up happens, which I doubt. But
Okay, so by the way, you are correct. I was going to take Mason Graham to the Giants, so now I have to figure out what the fuck else I'm gonna do. Shit, I yes. Crap, I don't know, dude. Like I mean, part of me wants to say Travis Hunter here, just because of the talent level. It doesn't seem like a very Giants type of move, you know. Um, I think I'll. Hmm. You know what? You know what? Uh, it's my YouTube channel, so I'm gonna go a little crazy here. I'm gonna say they take Ashton Genty because they're salty about still reeling from losing Saquon Barkley.
So what, they're gonna have Ashton Genty go to the Commanders in a few years just so he can win the Super Bowl and probably put up 2,000 yards so they can get their hearts broken twice?
Well, in like about 8 or 9 years, because as I've told you before, Joe Burrow has to win a Super Bowl before Jaden Daniels gets to.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, hey, I like the Bengals more than I like the Commanders, so
Okay. Who the Patriots taking?
Patriots. Look, I'm definitely critical on this guy. I've mentioned it before, but like, I'm gonna go crazy too. Well, it's not that crazy. I'm having them take Will Campbell, and yes, I am critical on this guy, but I'm not an NFL GM. And I'm drafting this like if I was the Patriots GM or if I had the brain of the Patriots GM. And I feel like all the tension has been Travis Hunter, Will Campbell. But I mentioned before we started the show, I could see Travis Hunter falling a bit. But obviously that's not up to me unless you take him before where I have had him going. But I just think that they want to draft protection for Mr. Drake May. Because, if they draft Travis Hunter, they already have Christian Gonzalez, and I'm pretty sure they still have Jonathan Jones. So they're really good at DB. Plus, they just signed Stephon Diggs, and they also still have the Mario Douglas, which ain't a big time receiver or nothing, but he's an okay guy to have. And they have some good weapons. So I feel like they're gonna go with Will Campbell so they can get some protection up front for Drake May and maybe even get that running game going.
Well, let's see if it actually works out that way.
Yeah.
So, I said that it wasn't a very Giants type of move, but it really does feel like a very Jaguars type of move. So I'm gonna say Travis Hunter goes to the Jaguars.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
They could use some secondary help, and you know, I know he's not exactly what they're looking for, but when you got a blue chip talent like that, kind of just you take the swing and you try to find a way to fit him onto your roster rather than the other way around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Like Travis Hunter is an all. He's an all. He's all pro potential, but like I said, some teams are probably going to pass on him just because of the two-way stuff. But you never know.
I'm sure the Jaguars are probably crazy enough to think that that's a good thing.
Maybe, probably. I mean, they'll probably have that boy playing quarterback if Trevor Lawrence ain't working out.
Fair enough. Who the Raiders taking?
Okay, so the Raiders, they just extended Geno Smith earlier today, but I don't care. With the sixth pick, I have them selecting Shedeur Sanders. And because, my original pick was I had them taking Ashton Genty, but you had them going at number 3, so then I had to kind of like resurface the air. So I'm going Shedeur Sanders because they signed Geno Smith, but how long is Geno Smith really going to be there for? Okay, it's kind of like a fail-con situation, You sign Kirk, but Michael Penix is already your starter. And I'm not going to lie, the trend usually, with Jordan Love to with Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, with Kirk to Penix, just seems like that's the trend. So I think it's going to be Geno to Sanders. Plus, you got Shedeur Sanders, and you don't have to throw him in the fire right away. You can have him sit behind Geno for maybe a year or two, and then, boom, he's out there slinging the field. So I think the Raiders take Shedeur with the 6th pick.
Am I the only one who thinks that Shedeur Sanders is kind of overrated?
I don't know.
I mean, I know he's got like a big microscope on him and everything like that. I just meant from like a analysis standpoint. Like he just, I don't know. He kind of feels average to me. Like high end talent high end athleticism. Like, but I don't know. He feels like a guy who's just gonna be a guy in the NFL. Like nothing special. To me,
I mean, yeah.
Like, he's Deion Sanders' son, but like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, just have to see. But I think Sanders, I think he has potential, and I think he's like the most. I've been saying it for a while. I think Sanders is the most pro-ready QB in the draft class. But to be fair, I said the same thing about Kenny Pickett, and we saw that worked out. So we'll see.
All right.
So you got the Jets.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Tara McMillan?
Oh, yeah, Tet McMillan, man.
Tet McMillan, there you go. I think the Jets are going to take him. He's a guy who, like, I don't know if I really like him very much, like, as a person, but, he's talented, and I think a team will swing on that. Now, whether or not he's going to actually make it in the NFL, I have my skepticisms, but the Jets seem like the type of team willing to take a chance on the personality. I don't think it's going to work out for him, but I do think that they're going to take that swing, though. All right. Ooh, rough. I have to pick for the Saints for you.
I swear to God.
So you're picking the Panthers.
Okay. Well, I'm just letting you know, because it's my team and I get to do whatever I want. In my mock draft, I have the Saints taking Will Johnson, but I'll leave it up to you. So, yeah. I'm just letting y'all know, my guy is Will Johnson. I don't care. Okay, now let me pick the Panthers. I'm not going to lie. Originally, I had them taking Travis Hunter at 8 overall. But now to surface back a little bit, I think they go Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle, or Texas. Because, like, they got Ike McQuan, but unless I'm missing somebody, who's the other tackle? Like, I know they got, like, a lot of depth on the linemen, but, like, when you have Bryce Young back there, you need all the offensive linemen you can get. And, that's why I thought the Panthers would have actually traded for Larry Tunsil. I thought they were going to pull the trigger, but he went to Washington, so that's off the table. But I think Carolina, I think they go Kelvin Banks, because you need some protection for Bryce Young. Just like how I said about Will Campbell to the Patriots. You got a young quarterback, you got to build him with protection, okay? Like, for example, I'm sorry to use your team in a bad light here, but Joe Burrow, right? He drafted him first overall. I'm not saying that was a mistake, but like his first year, he literally got hurt because his offensive line hated this man at that point. So it's like you got to draft offensive linemen if you want a young quarterback to succeed. So I think the Panthers, they take Kelvin Banks to protect Bryce Young.
I don't know if that's gonna do enough, but and I will say, as far as like drafting offensive linemen to succeed, Like let's not sit here and act like the Bengals didn't draft offensive linemen. They just did it badly.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah,
Like you draft
I
offensive
know,
linemen.
but what I'm saying is like the Panthers taking Kelvin Banks doesn't mean he's going to be any good.
Yeah, but like there's a saying. It's I would rather deal with the devil that I don't know rather than the devil that I do know.
I guess. All right.
Trust me, I deal with devils too.
So the Saints.
Yeah, we get it.
All right. I don't know, just looking through this list, I think realistically the Saints are going to draft quarterback DJ Ungalele.
What? Shut your mouth. No, you will not wish us that bad karma.
You're right. I'm sorry.
No.
They're gonna take Luke Elzinga, the punter out of Oklahoma.
Shut up. You are so lucky I'm not picking the Bengals. Man, thanks.
Yeah, I'm actually picking both of our teams. Interestingly enough, which is probably good for me. I think I've made this pick before. So this isn't going to be a surprise at all. But Saints are going to take Mike Green.
I'm okay with it.
I like the closer we get to the draft, the more certain. After all the stuff I've heard whispers from New Orleans, the more certain I am that if he's available at 9, which I imagine he probably will be, the Saints are going to jump all over him.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mike Green not as much as Will Johnson, but I like Mike Green.
All right. So who the Bears taking?
The Bears, the Bears, the Chicago Bears, the Bears. Well, in my previous mock draft, I had them taking Kelvin Banks, but now I had him going to Carolina because Travis Hunter wasn't there. It's this. Get over. All right, so for the Bears at what pick is this? Is this 10? All right, yeah. With the Bears 10th pick, I think they take the next best tackle, in my opinion, and they go with Armand Membu. Tackle out of Missouri. Like I said, gotta take O-line. Look, I'm one of the biggest advocates for offensive linemen. You gotta take offensive linemen when they're there, and Armand Membu is here for Chicago. I got, Caleb Williams needs all the protection in the world. They don't have Keenan Allen no more, so you only got DJ Moore and Roman Gunda, which are two solid receivers, but you got to give Caleb Williams time to make those plays. So, I got them taking Armand Membu at number 10 overall.
I think Caleb Williams will be very happy with that pick for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. The 49ers, I'm tempted to go Will Johnson here.
Oh.
What do you mean? Oh, you got Mike Green.
We could have got him in the second round.
You weren't going to get him in the second round.
I can dream. Let me dream.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, I'm shutting down your dream.
You dreamed about the Bengals winning the Super Bowl before they lost to the Rams.
Well, at least that was a possibility.
Okay, it's a possibility that we can still draft Will Johnson in the second round. You don't know what's going to come out before the draft. For all we know, he may have assaulted dogs. You never know.
I'm kind of stuck here between Barron and Johnson because, I feel like they're definitely going to go corner here.
Who? Oh, Barron. Oh, yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, Barron. No, Barron's really good, dude.
Yeah, no. A lot of people think the Saints are taking him.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad pick.
Yeah, because we lost to Debo, which still hurts. But...
The only thing is, I feel like they're probably gonna want to go with a more traditional man-on-man corner. That Johnson very much has the build for it, whereas Barron is really more of like a chase him down kind of guy, you know? Like as far as build goes. Yeah, considering it's the 49ers, I'm going to say Will Johnson makes sense for them there.
All right. You got Will Johnson on there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with the 12th pick, I got the Dallas Cowboys, and I think this pick I don't think this is going to be a shock to some people. Some people it might be, but I don't know who else you would take here. I'm going Shamar Stewart, edge out of Texas A&M for Dallas, mostly due to the fact that is Michael Parsons. What's going on with him? Okay, is he going to sign or is he not? And if you lose Michael Parsons, you need to draft somebody that you obviously don't know how any, like these could all just be 32 bucks that we're talking about right now. But you gotta see who has the most potential to take over Parsons. But even if you do sign Parsons, if you have Parsons and Shamar Stewart, that's gonna be a scary edge duo. Plus you gotta deal with Jalen Hurts, Jay Daniels twice a year, two guys that can run. You gotta get guys that can move into the pocket fast and quick, and that's who I think Shamar Stewart is, a quick motor guy.
I just feel like that's a bit of a reach, personally.
Like, no, I hope it was the Dallas, but
okay.
Because I don't got stuff and have long days of pain and misery.
Well, okay, fair enough then, I guess. Dolphins are going to take Malachi Starks. I mean, they have to, right?
I had it going to.
They have to at this point. Like Javon Holland was like their whole team.
Yeah, he was. Well, for most of it.
Yeah, it's like the Bengals losing Jesse Bates, except they don't have Joe Burrow.
I mean, Tua ain't like he's a good quarterback. Just
he's fine.
Like, yeah.
But like you know, before all the injuries, he was like I felt he was like a top 5 quarterback, and now
he led the league in one.
Yeah, he's got very high end potential. Like I wanted the Bengals to draft him back before Joe Burrow kind of like became the obvious pick.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question: If the Bengals ended up beating the Dolphins back in 2019, are they? And let's say they didn't. They had the 5th pick, and they drafted Tua. Would you like Tua more than Joe Burrow? Like, would you have been fine with that?
What do you mean?
Like essentially,
like Joe Burrow would have gone to Miami. I wouldn't have had the choice.
But okay, let's say this: if the Bengals had the 1st pick and they took Tua over Burrow, would you have agreed with that at that time?
Oh, if they had taken Tua over Burrow, absolutely not. By the time we got to the draft, I was all in on Burrow. I'm just saying, before Joe Burrow kind of burst onto the scene, I was a Tua guy.
Okay, just checking. But anyways. All right. I got the Colts at 14, and I have them taking Tyler Warren.
I agree.
Signing out of Penn State.
I agree.
Because, you need, look, Tyler Warren is no doubt the best tight end in his draft class. And you need a pair, Anthony Richardson, a guy that struggled his first 2 seasons. Well, to be fair, last year was most of his rookie year because almost his whole rookie season he was out, so... you got, and plus Mo Ali Cox, if he's even still there, he's not a starting tight end. Okay, he's like a Noah Fant to me, except Noah Fant is more explosive,
right?
Kind of. But I'm going Tyler Warren because, like I said, you got to give Anthony Richardson weapons. And before anybody's like, oh, Daniel Jones will not be starting for the Colts. And if you believe that, then somebody told you a lie. But anyways, like I was saying, I think Tyler Warren, he's a phenomenal tight end. And for a while, I wanted the Saints to draft Tyler Warren. And I still wouldn't mind if they do take Tyler Warren. I love Tyler Warren, man.
I wouldn't mind Tyler Warren on the Bengals. We just re-signed Mike Gesicki, so it's not that necessary. But I like Tyler Warren. I think he's going to be good.
That's nice.
So, the Falcons are going to take Jihad Campbell.
Okay.
I think I think they need a lot of help on defense, and I think he's the type of guy who could kind of fill in like on a lot of different areas of need for them. Now, obviously not at once, but he could be one of those like versatile kind of guys, but not in a bad way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a reach though.
I don't think it's reach. I mean, I don't think it's like
mean,
like you took freaking Shamar Stewart at 12.
He's a good player.
He's not that good.
Yes, he is.
He's like a late first round pick at most.
Okay.
I think Shamar Stewart's going in the second round personally.
Then 32 GMs are sleeping hard. But
we'll find out, I guess.
Like it's just weird because like Atlanta, they already have Caden Ellis and they have Troy Anderson. Like they have good middle linebackers, but the rest of that team sucks. So.
All right.
Yeah, like, anyways.
So
but anyways, I got the Cardinals. So with the 16th pick, I have the Cardinals going James Pierce. I'm actually surprised I had him fall into 16. Like before the draft process, I thought James Pierce was a surefire top 10 pick, but now when looking at the draft order, it's like okay, a lot of teams need more than just an edge rusher. So I have Arizona going James Pierce to pair alongside Josh Sweat because like that team, it struggled getting to the quarterback last season. Yeah. So you get James Pierce and you pair him with Josh Sweat. That's not a bad duo if Pierce turns out like I think he will.
Okay. I have a question. Are we stupid?
Maybe.
Because like, why the fuck is Abdul Carter available?
Wait. He was available? I thought he got picked already.
No. So, the Bengals are taking him, but they're not really. I didn't. I totally didn't realize he was even available until now. But so I want to be clear: the Bengals are not actually going to take Abdul Carter. But in this crazy ass scenario, that is what would happen. So
I'm not looking at the screens. I'm looking at my mock draft, and for some reason I heard Abdul Carter's name in my head, so I was already assuming he got picked. But I'm not looking at the screen of the YouTube live stream. I'm looking at my mock draft so I can be prepared. So I didn't even pay attention to that. So
yeah. John says hi, by the way. We're not doing a power ranking this week, John. Mostly because there's not anything too really. It's draft season. We gotta focus on talking about drafts and stuff like that. So
rank how stupid we are.
Well, we could rank how. Well, we could do that. We could rank how stupid NFL teams are maybe next week.
Maybe.
I mean, who's the stupidest team? We could do that next week. I don't know if no, they're not. Like the Browns exist.
Okay.
Like Browns fans will agree with me on this.
The Browns have more playoff wins in the last 7 years than the Falcons do.
Okay, that doesn't. How many total wins do each of those teams have?
I don't know.
I'm betting you anything the Falcons probably have a few more wins than the Browns. Overall.
The Browns have more championships than the Falcons.
The Falcons didn't exist when the Browns won those championships.
Well, whose fault is that?
Not the Falcons. They didn't exist.
Okay, well, tell them to exist sooner.
Wouldn't you not want that?
But no, I do want that so they could lose more. They can have a worse record.
Didn't the Falcons and Saints come into the league at the same time?
Yeah, when we joined the NFC West. Or was it the NFC Central? I don't know.
Probably Central.
It's all the same thing.
Yes. Sorry, John. It's just I couldn't. I tried to think of because I do like that angle of ranking things, but I couldn't think of anything relevant to rank this week because we're still an NFL show and everything NFL related is draft related right now, so it's about the only thing we really could do. But
Hey,
anyway,
right, you're right.
Seahawks. After watching the Bengals get Abdul Carter at 17 through black magic, I guess. Um,
Uh-huh.
who are the Seahawks taking at 18?
That's my pick.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me get back to my mock draft because I was just looking at the user thing real quick. Okay, so the Seahawks, you said at what pick is this on? Let me see. Seahawks were at 18. Um, Seahawks at 18. I think they take. Hmm. Hold on. Michael Williams, because I feel like it. You don't want to ask questions because I don't feel like answering.
I don't. That's fine. That's fine. Um, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't. He's pretty good. I think he's a little underrated, really. Like by the scouting community, anyway. Like not necessarily in general, but like by the NFL scouting community, I don't think they're valuing him high enough. Now, whether or not he actually goes at 18 is the question, right? I think he should. You know, he should probably go before that. Like I wouldn't be upset if the Bengals got him. Now, I will say I'm not really targeting edge for the Bengals. Like I would like okay, so if we're being honest, like based off of this board, except Abdul Carter wasn't available. So I'm gonna go ahead and give like a real projection here for a second, because like Abdul Carter should not have been available at 17. So I would have gone with Jedi Barron because, in my opinion, the biggest need for the Bengals for the entire team. I know people talk about offensive line. I get it. And I mean, guard is a pretty big need because we don't have.
I mean, you did
Alex
lose
Cappa
Jackson
anymore.
Carmen. You did lose Jackson Carmen, so that fills a need.
Yeah, losing Jackson Carmen certainly does fill a need. It fills the need of not having Jackson Carmen anymore. But we also cut Alex Kappa, so we actually do legitimately have a need there.
Yeah.
Mike, you apparently have a bit of an echo. Apparently.
Okay.
I don't know what you can do about that, but according to John. But yeah, the Bengals would have taken Jedi Barron at 17, or at least I would have had them taking Jedi Barron at 17, because in my opinion, the biggest need for the Bengals right now is they need a corner who can actually keep up, because that would solve so many things. Like the Bengals have talented pass rushers. We'll see. This whole Trey Hendrickson situation is annoying. Trey Hendrickson, to be clear, will be playing for the Bengals in 2025. I really hope we can re-sign him long term, but he will be playing for the Bengals in 2025. I can promise you that.
He's gonna either play in Detroit or in Atlanta.
Not in 2025.
Or Cincinnati. He's probably gonna end up in Atlanta, as much as I hate to say it. You know why? Because he's a former Saint. He's a former Saint, and Atlanta keeps going after Saint players, and I don't know why.
In like 2 or 3 years, but I mean, right now he's not going anywhere. He's going to play in Cincinnati, and that's what's going to happen. But even without Trey Henderson, we've got talent on the defensive line. It's not like we don't have anybody who can do anything. The biggest problem is you don't have like opposing teams don't have to respect the pass rush. They can just kind of stand there, and they know if they wait they only have to wait 2 seconds and somebody's going to get fucking open, because our secondary is just constantly getting burned back there. So what we need is we need a new number one corner. A lot of people aren't talking about this need because we've got talent in the cornerback room, but we don't have anybody who can really keep up with some of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And in my opinion, that's been the Bengals' biggest need all offseason, has been a new number one corner. I was hoping we could get somebody in free agency. We didn't, and it didn't sound like they really targeted anybody anyway. So let's go find somebody in the draft who can really get it done.
Mike Hilton's still out there. I mean, are they going to try to sign him?
Well, I don't know, but he's not a number one corner. But like, I would like for them to re-sign him. I don't know if they're going to. It'd be nice though. But
I love the Bengals by Paulson Debo.
yeah, but at the same time, all that said, if for some miracle, black magic-y reason, Abdul Carter is available, you fucking rush to the podium and you take him, and you don't worry about your needs. You just take Abdul Carter. But that's obviously not.
People are trying to say that Abdul Carter's purposely trying to fall to 32 so he can get drafted by the Eagles.
That's not a bad strategy. I mean, depending on like. Because like it's a good long-term investment if you can like position yourself to get drafted by a good team, because that means you're going to fall in the draft and you might not get as much money immediately, but if you go to a good team, then there's a good chance that you're going to have a good career, and then you'll make more money in the long run.
The Eagles were his favorite team growing up. The Eagles were his favorite team growing up, so that's why.
Oh shit! Well, that works out perfectly then. The Eagles are a good team, and they're your favorite team growing up. But anyway,
he's actually rapping during the Super Bowl. So.
Anyway, the Buccaneers at 19. Boy, we got some slim pickings here. I'm gonna say Nick Scourton, out of Texas A&M. I've seen him. I've seen him go a little earlier than expected in a few mocks I've seen.
I had the Bucs trading down and selecting Nick Scourton.
Well, so they still get Nick Scourton.
So yeah, that's fun.
Maybe next time we do a mock, we'll introduce trades.
Yeah.
And then I'll have the Bengals trading up to get Abdul Carter.
Okay, good for you. Anyways, so I have the Broncos at 20.
Mm-hmm.
Janae Barron already got picked, right? Or
yes.
Or did he not?
No, he didn't. He didn't. Realistically, yes, he did get picked by the Bengals, but because in our crazy scenario, Abdul Carter was available, he has not gotten picked yet now.
Okay, well, I'm taking Janae Barron for Denver because it's like
that seems like overkill.
I don't care. That team, I made a video, and I'm not gonna lie, I put the Broncos in A tier.
Huh?
Like as a team, I put them in A tier because I love that team right now.
What do you mean by A tier? They're not that great of a team.
Yes, they are.
Why?
Because I said so.
Okay. All right.
And I know everything that there is to know about life. Anyways,
right.
So I've never taken Janae Barron because it's like the corner room. If you add him, bro, they actually might win that freaking division. They might take it over from the Chiefs.
So at pick number 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to select a shitty asshole cat.
What?
And then they're gonna walk away and they're going to continue to suck.
Okay, for real though, who do you have them taking?
Based off of the current based off of the current board, the one that stands out to me is Josh Simmons, the tackle from Ohio State.
Nice.
The Steelers, and it works out great for me because I hate Ohio State and the Steelers. But for whatever reason, the Steelers just seem to have this affinity for Ohio State players. I'm not sure why. If I was an Ohio State fan, it would probably piss me off. But
we do too.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, you know, as a Bengals fan, I can say that every time we try to draft an Ohio State player, they end up being terrible.
I mean, hey, whenever we take an Ohio State player, it actually works well for us. So, might as well just keep thinking. Who's the best Ohio State player in this draft? Oh, let me see. Who's the best one to have? Let me see. Hold up. I will find out.
Well, I mean, it might have been him, honestly.
Who?
Might have been Josh Simmons.
Okay, so with the 9th pick, Saints take Josh Simmons because they make all the picks and they are all great from Ohio State.
Well, I'm just saying he's the most highly rated. He's not necessarily like. Do you guys need an offensive tackle?
Yes.
Oh,
well,
okay. Well,
kind of.
You can take him then, or you could take Igbukah. Since you have a history with Ohio State wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, look at the guys. Marshawn Lattimore. What's his name? Marshawn Lattimore. Michael Thomas, Chris Olave. Was Trey Hendrickson from Ohio State or am I tripping?
He's definitely not from. I don't know where Trey Hendrickson played, but it wasn't Ohio State.
All right. Well, I don't know. The Saints, they have history of taking good OSU players.
Yeah, the Bengals have a history of taking bad OSU players.
Fun fact: I have a Marshawn Lattimore picture right in front of me right now. It makes me cry sometimes, but it's okay.
Trey Hendrickson went to FAU apparently.
Oh, I don't know why I kept thinking he was from Ohio State.
All right. So who the Chargers taking?
Chargers. What pick is that? 22.
Yep.
I've been taking Derek Harmon.
I can see that.
Yeah, I've been taking Harmon. Obviously, losing Bosa sucks, but you need somebody to fill that void. And they technically play different positions, but it's really all the same thing if you want to think about it. But I've been taking Derek Harmon. I feel like he's one of the better D tackles from this year's draft, and I think they take him at 22 overall. So, yeah.
Right.
Good for now, and not so good for other teams now.
The Green Bay Packers are going to take Luther Burden. Yeah. Because frankly, he's the best player available, and it fits a need for them. I mean, they really got to get control of their wide receiver room.
You're right.
So maybe they take Golden or Igbukah. I feel like Luther Burden has the highest upside of all three of those.
Bro, I just realized. Okay, sure. Well, I already know who Texans taking now.
Who's that?
Well, Texans. Who's pick 24?
Oh, 24 is the Vikings, and I picked the Texans, so I may or may not pick anything.
Jelon Walker is still available, so the Vikings are going to rush up to that podium, and they're going to say his name so loud and proud, and he's going to go to Minnesota.
That is not who I would have picked for them, but okay.
Well, they pick him today. They'll deal with it.
All right, okay. All right. For the Texans, they are going to take Matthew Golden.
Fun fact, I had him going to the Bengals.
Why?
Because...
Why would we take a wide receiver in the first round after we just paid T. Higgins and Jamar Chase?
To piss you off?
I don't think that would piss me off as much as you think. It wouldn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. I just like Matthew Golden, so I was like, you know what? Why not give the Bengals a triple threat? And, he can fill that. I mean, hey, you did have Tyler Boyd on your team.
Dude,
you didn't need him.
We would score 80 points every single game.
Uh-huh.
Also, by the way, we had Tyler Boyd on the team because we drafted him back in 2017. He was just already on the team. Yeah,
but you had Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins, so you might as well just get your third guy back.
Yeah, so again, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd made sense because we had A.J. Green at the time, but A.J. Green was getting older and was getting hurt a lot, and we kind of needed to figure out life beyond him. And I think T. Higgins was intended to be our number one receiver, and then we just happened to, shit our fucking brains out on the way to getting Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That was just a random thing that happened. We didn't plan that at all.
Well, anyways, so did you already pick your guy?
Yeah, Matthew Golden to the Texans. So it's your turn to pick for the Rams.
Rams, Colston Loveland.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. He'd be a good fit there.
Yeah. Tyler Higbee, I think he's still in the Rams. He's getting hurt a lot, so you got to get somebody.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, if you pair those two up, that could be really good.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, for long term as well. Higbee's been getting hurt a lot, so you need somebody back there. Plus, you can pair them to, that would kind of be like a Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid type of duo. That's what I was aiming for with the Rams.
Fair. All right.
Yeah.
For the Ravens.
The Ravens.
The Ravens are going to take. I feel like the Ravens would probably trade down here, but since we're not doing trades in this one, I mean, I guess yeah, like as far like again, it really feels like a trade down type of situation for them right now because like the board just did not fall super in their favor. Um, I mean, I guess this guy Donovan is Zeruaku.
Yeah,
I'm sure I butchered that name.
You definitely did.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, like I mean, how else would you pronounce that?
I don't know. I'm just saying out the obvious. You definitely pronounce that name. But that ain't gonna. But that don't. But that's not. That does not mean I'm gonna try to sound stupid.
Yeah. My only thing with him is like again, I really feel like this is a like there's the boards just did not fall for the Ravens at all here. Like just trade down and get a couple extra picks, honestly. But if they got to take somebody, you know, like I mean, he's like if you drew a picture of what you think an NFL pass rusher should look like, it looks like that guy. However you pronounce his name, it looks like he looks the part.
Just call him Donovan.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to specify. There's lots of Donovans. Yeah,
we'll call him Donovan Easy.
Easy, okay. Look, he's a smart guy. He's got good fundamentals. I also feel like he didn't really go up against very ideal competition. So you're taking a bit of a risk on taking him in the first round, I think. But like, I just don't know if the Ravens aren't trading down. I don't know who the hell else you take here.
I had Donovan going to the Eagles. So.
Yeah, at 32.
Yeah.
You said
32.
At 32, yeah. I mean, I could maybe see that, but I don't know. He just feels like a pick 40 something type of guy to me.
All right, what pick are we on now? Who's picking?
The Lions.
Lions 28. Okay. 28. I think they take Nick Iman Wari. And they probably would play him in a corner. Or no, probably in the slot. Probably. Pair him up with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. Plus Kirby's going into the last year of his deal. They take Nick Monwari. I think I said that right. I'm 95% sure.
That looks about right to me. I don't see why not.
Oh, yeah.
So the Washington Commanders. Who is going to continue to not win a Super Bowl with Jaden Daniels?
They will eventually.
Well, you could make that argument about the Bengals, and they haven't done it yet.
Mm.
I'm going to just, with this one, I think I'm going to go best player available, Kenneth Grant. You know, I know their defensive line isn't a big problem, but you know, at this point, I feel like you're like, first of all, the draft is about building for the future. It's not necessarily about building for now. And when you're in a position like the Commanders, where you've got a pretty solid roster, you can afford to take a guy who, you know, might not be ready this year.
Yeah, I see that.
All right, who's the Bills taking?
Siobhan Revel. I think they take Siobhan Rebel. You know, you traded away Kyrie Long, not like that hurt your team, but you need a corner because like Tre'Davious White's been gone for a year. They have what's his name? Put them Teron Johnson. They have him, but I don't know anybody else. So like, you got to take a corner for the Buffalo Bills, and I think they take Siobhan Rebel.
Well, I mean, he's pretty much the best corner left available, so he might as well. But I don't know, I just don't like this whole idea of drafting just for needs.
Well, if you're the Buffalo Bills, this is all you can do right now.
I guess. The Chiefs, I think, I can smell it. They're gonna piss me right the fuck off. I just know it. I just know they will. They're gonna take.
They're gonna piss you off again.
Yeah, they do it a lot. They do it a lot. They're gonna piss me.
Named it Burrowhead. Y'all kind of had it coming.
Okay, listen. First of all, it was.
Hey, I'm just
and
saying
it would still be if the fucking refs had done their goddamn jobs.
Oh, so now it's the ref's fault. Okay.
In this case, yes.
So now it's the referee's fault. But when I complain about the refs, it was fair game.
Well, yes, Mikey, because this is my team.
Okay. I don't care if it's your team or not. When I complain about the refs, I'm just being a whiny little sissy person. But when you complain about the refs...
No, that's not what I said. I said you're being a homer.
Okay, so when I blame the refs, it's all, you shouldn't be letting the referees determine the outcome of your game. You probably deserve to lose. But when you complain about the refs, it's all the refs are the worst people of all time. Woo!
Well, okay, so to be clear, the Bengals still deserve to lose that game.
Okay, then.
The defense did anyway. Like, you know, it's hard for anything to be Burrow anything when you have that fucking defense, honestly.
But yeah, have y'all ever beaten the Chiefs since y'all called it Burrowhead?
Not in Arrowhead, we haven't. I think we've beaten the Chiefs though.
I don't think y'all did.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we've only. You're right. We've only played him like twice though. And
yeah,
in
to be fair, the first time Burrow was hurt, but like
at no point have we like every game we've played against the Chiefs has been like super fucking close. Like it's not like they're kicking our asses or anything.
Look, I'm not saying that y'all get blown out every game by the Chiefs. I mean, y'all almost beat them with Jake Brown. But I'm just saying, like, ever since y'all called it Burrowhead, y'all haven't beat the Chiefs yet.
Yeah, but we've only played them twice.
I know, but those were two opportunities you could have beat the Chiefs, and you didn't do that.
Well, look, I'm not trying to overly focus on the refs here. I'm just saying, did that look like pass interference to you?
A little bit.
Did it?
A little bit.
No, it didn't. So anyway, the Chiefs, as I said, are going to piss me right the fuck off, and they're going to make an incredibly savvy move that a lot of people I don't think will see coming, but they're going to take Tyler Booker.
That's cool.
Who I would love for the Bengals to have a chance at in the second round, even if they have to trade up in the second round. But the Chiefs are going to piss me off.
I had Tyler Booker going in the first round, so.
Well, we're at 31, and he hasn't gone yet.
Well, I think I maybe had like a first round grade on him. But I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? With the 32nd pick, I think I got the Eagles taking Tyler Booker. You know, why not?
I just had the Chiefs take him.
Oh, my fault, Chiefs. Oh, that's right. Where am I head at? Let's see. The Eagles, they take Malachi Starks.
Is he still available?
I thought he was. Because I remember I was going to have him go to Minnesota, but then I had somebody else go.
Yeah, no, he got taken by the Dolphins at 13.
Oh, bro, where is my head at? Is Amika Ibuka available? Wait,
Yeah, he's
not.
available.
Okay. Well, you know what? Uh, you know what? No, scratch that. They don't really need receiver. They don't need receiver at all. I'm gonna have the Eagles take Gray Zabel.
You think they need a tackle?
Here says he's a guard.
I think that's a stretch.
I mean, what else are they going to do? I mean, they lost Mekhi Becton, so gotta play somebody there.
I guess. I get like he has played a lot of guard, but you don't typically have a guy with that kind of talent playing guard. Usually, you put him on the outside where they can be even more athletic.
Yeah, I mean, but like the Eagles, I mean, they don't really have too many needs or guys that can really make an impact, like even maybe long term.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you
On the
just
board.
fuck around with your draft pick.
The Browns do it every year, so
Yeah, and look how bad they are.
yeah, but the Eagles are not the Browns.
All right. Well, do you feel comfortable with the Saints having DJ Ongelele at pick 9?
No! Over my dead, rotten body are the Saints taking DJ. And you know how bad I hate DJ? I would rather the Saints take Jalen Milrow in the first round over DJ. That's how bad I think DJ is. That man was thinking it up at Florida State. He went to FSU. People thought he was going to win a national championship, and that boy sucked. Because I was watching them games, and that boy couldn't hit nothing. Every time that man threw it deep, man, that boy threw the ball like he was a goddamn Nathan Peterman.
All right then. That's very vivid.
Please don't take Jalen Milrow either, Saints. That was not an invitation to take Jalen Milrow.
All right. So yeah, that's our mock draft. Thanks John for showing up. Didn't really have a whole lot of didn't really have a whole lot of interaction today, but I didn't really expect it. Like I said, there's nothing really to talk about. So maybe we'll try to come up with something more engaging next week. But I don't know. It's fun to do a mock draft. Why the fuck not? Kill some time.
We might as well do mock drafts until the draft happens, unless something big happens that we got to open.
Yeah, but you know, it's also good to try to talk about stuff that people want to talk about.
Yeah, true that. Like, what else is even going on? Like, what we're gonna talk about?
Well, like I said, the whole like I mean, you know, there's always some sort of controversial news thing to talk about, and lately the Bengals are, you know, got the controversy. That's why I talked about it at the beginning. I just didn't want to do a whole episode on it because I'm already sick of it.
Fun fact: earlier today, I figured out what the saying "the whole 9 yards" mean, or like where it came from. So yeah. Somebody wanted 3 3-inch shirts, and they got one 9-inch shirt, and he was like, "I wanted 3 shirts, not the whole 9 yards." And ever since then, it's been popular.
Interesting. I feel I feel like I heard that it came from somewhere else, but I can't remember. So I'll yield to you on this one.
Peanuts.
Yeah, peanut and what?
I don't know. I felt like saying peanuts.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I think that's it for now. I'm gonna go sleep for 14 hours because I felt like I was gonna die before we started. Now I really feel like I'm gonna die.
And I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna wish my mom a happy birthday one more time.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mikey's mom.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yep, the same one that sprayed me with the water bottle.
Which was hilarious, by the way.
So, okay.
All right, that's it then. I'll leave y'all as always with a Who Dat.
Who Dat?